Mazda may be a relatively small company when you compare it to its Japanese competitors. However, sales of their crossovers have really helped to improve their overall market share as a global brand, which is why I'm at the 2019 Geneva International Motor Show, where Mazda has just unveiled this, the latest addition to their crossover lineup. This is the 2020 CX-30. Let's take a first look.
Mazda CX-30.
So you may be asking yourself, why does Mazda need another crossover in their lineup, and where did they come up with the name CX-30? Well, they didn't use the name CX-4 like we all thought, myself included, because there's already a CX-4 in China, and Mazda claims that this is an entirely different model. It's based on the all-new next-generation Skyactiv platform that they just introduced on the all-new Mazda 3. You can see the front fascia of this vehicle takes a lot of design cues from that Mazda 3. It's basically their latest Kodo design language. You have this very unique grille that kind of flows into the available LED headlights that this particular one has. They also have these new LED daytime running lights and LED turn signals at the lower fascia. That's a new design language that we haven't seen on any other Mazda product. And overall, it's a very familiar look. It literally looks like a cross between, of course, the CX-3 and the CX-5, where this vehicle will slot in between in terms of the actual lineup. Now, underneath the hood of this vehicle, Mazda didn't have too much in terms of powertrains, but they did say that it will debut with the Skyactiv X powertrain that will be shown on the all-new Mazda 3. Basically, there's not much information on the Skyactiv X, but they did say it should be making around 180 horsepower and be displacing 2 liters when it goes on sale. This vehicle will be available with all-wheel drive, and then fuel economy and full pricing will be available at a later date. So from the side profile of the CX-30, you can see it has a lot of the traditional design elements that we've seen from other Mazda products, particularly the Mazda 3 hatchback. In terms of the actual size, Mazda says that the wheelbase for at least the European model that I'm showing you is around 105.8 inches long and an overall length of 173 inches long. This is roughly about 5 inches longer than the CX-3, but also about 5 inches shorter than the CX-5. So again, it slots right in between. This particular one that they showed up the floor here actually has some 18-inch wheels. They're wrapped in two 15 series tires. They look pretty good, and overall I think the silhouette looks really sleek. It's very Mazda-like, especially in this Soul Red Crystal paint color. So at the rear of the CX-30, you can see it has a design language that kind of takes some influence from the front fascia. You have these taillights, which are an LED combination, which again mimic the shape of the front headlights. I really like how Mazda has created these LED light pipes that are super unique to this vehicle. It's an overall different look versus the CX-3 and CX-5. I'm not sure I particularly love the black cladding that you find here. It seems like they put extra black cladding on this particular one to kind of make it look a little bit more rugged and a little bit more crossover-like. So in terms of the cargo space, you can see it's going to slot right between the CX-3 and the CX-5. Mazda didn't actually have any full numbers for us just yet, but I am noticing right at a glance that it is much more spacious versus the small cargo area that you get in the CX-3, because remember, this is based off of the Mazda 3, whereas the CX-3 is based off of the Mazda 2. So stepping into the interior of the CX-30, if you guys have spent some time in the all-new Mazda 3, this environment's going to feel pretty familiar. Now, Mazda is typically very good at making their interiors feel a lot more premium than its price would suggest, and that's definitely the case here for the CX-30. You can see the interior is filled with really high-quality materials. materials. You've got leather, genuine leather actually stitched throughout the dashboard. You've got that latest version of the Mazda Connect head unit with an 8.8-inch display. You've got the same steering wheel from the Mazda 3 hatchback. And really there's a premium luxury car ambiance that I really have not experienced in a lot of these mainstream cars, especially with the class that the CX-30 plays in. Now this particular one obviously is most likely a Grand Touring or Signature trim. It's got, looks like an 8-way power driver's seat. You've got a new Bose audio system that Mazda says is going to be the best sounding in the segment. And overall it feels pretty roomy in here. Really cockpit-like. I really like the dashboard layout. A lot of the knobs and the vents in here and a lot of the buttons, they feel really high quality and they just move with a lot of precision that you just typically expect with a luxury brand. Now Mazda didn't have any pricing yet for this vehicle. They will say that it should be going on sale in the US in sometime in 2020 and early 2020. And again, this will slot between the CX-3 and the CX-5, so expect pricing to be somewhere in the low $20,000 range when it goes on sale. For Redline Reviews at the 2019 Geneva Motor Show, I'm Sophie Day. So from the rear of the CX-30, you can see it has a design language that kind of takes some influence from the front with these very unique looking taillight.
Sorry.
No.